This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a great platform that makes it easy and simple for you to buy, hold, and sell and earn crypto. You can trade from anything to anything. For example, you can trade between cryptocurrencies and precious metals. It's an amazing platform that I've been using for years. And in fact, I still use to this day because they're one, a great exchange, they're reputable, and they're one of the only exchanges that still lists XRP. Many of the other exchanges have delisted XRP due to the SEC lawsuit, but you can still get XRP on Uphold. So I've interviewed the CEO, the founder, and many other representatives from Uphold over the years, and I'm a fan of this platform. And once again, there's some great features like trading between different assets very easily. You don't have to convert to a currency and so forth. They're used by 10 plus million users. They have over 200 cryptocurrencies. And they have a very easy to use app. The interface is really nice. So I can certainly vouch for this platform. Once again, I've been a user for years. So if you'd like to learn more about Uphold, please visit the link in the description. Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. With me today is Tiffany Fong, who's the influencer researching Celsius Network and all that's been going on there with Celsius bankruptcy and potential fraud and things along those lines. Tiffany, great to have you on the show.
Nice to be here. It's my first show.
Well, Tiffany, you're doing God's work. I've been following you. You've been exposing the folks at Celsius, and rightfully so. Before we get into the details, I would love to get to know you. Tell us a bit about your background. Where are you from and what do you do?
I'm from Las Vegas. I went to USC. I got in on crypto quite early. And after USC, I kind of set up a few online stores that kind of run passively. So I wasn't really working full time. I did get in on crypto in like 2011 because I got it as a gift from a relative. So I'm very lucky. Like I can't pretend to be some crypto genius when I was like, I think I was like 17 at the time. But one of my relatives was Bitcoin mining, and that kind of was my first exposure to crypto and learning about it. So I paid attention since then. So I was pretty lucky in that regard, I think.
Wow, that's in the world of crypto, you're an OG. You got in
I
2011.
kind of am. And I hate to take credit for it because I'm like, it wasn't me that was sleuthing around and discovered Bitcoin. It was like a relative who got my feet wet in crypto. But yeah, I was very lucky there.
Wow. So a relative introduced you to crypto, sent you some Bitcoin, but what was your aha moment? When did it click for you? Like, oh wait, this technology is, going to disrupt and here to stay. And so,
Yeah. I invested little bits just because my relative felt very strongly that there was future there. I invested bits over time, but didn't put a ton of my own money in until the 2017, or was it 20? No. Yeah, I invested some in 2017. I think I put a lot in when the NFT hype was happening. So that's bad to admit. I bought a lot of ETH at that time. Before that, I was just holding Bitcoin. So luckily, I held through everything. Like I didn't sell anything until like the more recent years. So I held throughout all the ups and downs until things really did get bigger. But yeah, I think I invested a lot of my own money into ETH. That was my first like other coin outside of Bitcoin
so
during
is it
the NFT hype.
is it primarily Bitcoin and Ethereum that you hold, or do you have any?
Primarily Bitcoin, ETH. I hold some Matic. I hold some Aave. I have a little bit of like just the smart contract protocols like BNB, DOT, Solana. But I try not to. I don't really invest in like what I believe to be shit coins or like any sort of pump and dumps. I don't really play around with that. I'm more of just like a long-term holder. So I just invest in what I believe in and I can understand. So yeah, I'm not really chasing like the little dog coins or anything like that.
For sure. That's good advice. I don't either. It's like just
Yes,
a risky game to play.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I
Um,
don't consider myself a day trader by any means.
for sure. So when did you first come across Celsius Network, and when did you actually put your funds on Celsius?
So I initially discovered BlockFi, and we talked about this right before the recording. I put a few Bitcoins into BlockFi. I initially didn't have anything in Celsius, but I think I kept hearing about it. I think mostly from like YouTube and influencers who were promoting Celsius. Um, and I put a little bit into Celsius, but over time, BlockFi was lowering their interest rates and Celsius's were remaining the same, which in hindsight probably should have been a red flag. But since their interest rates were higher and I had no like previous issues in terms of withdrawals or I didn't notice any issues, I was like, okay. And I gradually started moving a few of my Bitcoins from BlockFi over to Celsius.
Mhm.
So I ended up leaving. I've already posted it, but I've left. I left 3.1 Bitcoins and 11.5 ETH in Celsius amongst a few other coins. So it was a pretty hefty amount.
Oh man. Well, I'm certainly sorry that, that you lost access to your funds and you and I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of users.
Yeah.
I've interviewed Alex Mashinsky about 5, 6 times, and Alex has a very strong resume. He's obviously going around saying he's the creator of voice over IP. He's done
Yeah.
different investments. So there's a trust factor there. Well, it's Alex Mashinsky's business. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of people are taken back like, wow, did we just get rug pulled? Is he the Bernie Madoff of crypto?
Kind of, yes.
Oh man.
It's
Um,
disastrous.
yeah, it's so I know the market value of the tokens fluctuate, but at the bull market peak, what was the total amount of funds that you couldn't access or the cash value?
At the bull market, I believe it was like about 270K at like peak. It
Mm.
was, yeah, when I put it in, I think it was over 200K. I believe I put most of it in 2019. Was it 2019? Well, I can't remember the exact date, but I remember the account typically being well over 200K and about 270K at peak. Now it's looking a lot slimmer because we're in a bear market, but it was a lot. It was a lot.
Oh man, that must have been painful. And I know everybody has their financial goals and things they want to do in life. So with that money locked up, I mean, I'm sure that's affected you financially and maybe things you want to buy and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked briefly, but like I wanted to buy a house and I was planning to buy a house soon and I mean, yeah, things like that. I mean, thankfully it wasn't my entire portfolio, so I know
Right.
some people are in some way more wrecked than I am because they put everything in. Um, but it was a huge chunk of my portfolio, so I was yeah, quite
So
upset.
so this situation has caused you to do a lot of research and to kind of take the reins and go find out what the hell is happening here.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot, but maybe you can give us like the top five of things that you've encountered from your research.
Um, okay, well, so I initially didn't set out for that actually. I
Mhm.
posted my first video on YouTube just because I was a bit angry, and a lot of my friends, like, I'm a girl in my 20s, not a lot of my friends are invested in crypto. So when Celsius shut down withdrawals, I just posted a video on YouTube kind of just to vent because most of my friends were like, I don't know what Celsius is. You lost Bitcoins. I don't know. Um, so I posted my first video just kind of to vent and was like, I lost a lot of money to Celsius. And then I just started posting a few updates about what I was finding online about what's happening with Celsius, just to update other people who were commenting on that video, etc. So I started posting videos. I didn't really set out to be a YouTuber or a content creator or anything. But then I was contacted by a lot of people, and amongst them were a few employees. And one of the employees was just said that he liked my channel and he watched me and he wanted me to know what was happening in Celsius.
Wow.
So that's when I received the first couple of audios. Um, and I was like nervous at first. I wasn't sure I was going to post anything. So I like talked to lawyers and stuff who were warning me against it. But I mean, Celsius was completely opaque and they were silent for months. And I was like, if I know what's happening, then I need to post this. So the first audio I posted was the leaked all hands meeting. And that's where they unveiled their plans for what they were planning to do with Celsius and their further restructuring steps. And that was the plan of Kelvin. Um, so that they essentially plan to reopen as a crypto custodial platform with a zero trust security framework and features like multi-sig wallets and make money with transaction fees, which I mean, to me, after what's happened with Celsius seems absolutely delusional to think that they
Yeah.
can reopen and anyone would want to leave any of their funds with anything related to Celsius. So I was in shock when I listened to
Yeah.
that audio and it was like, people need to know. So I think that was the biggest thing that I've like come across, like just the unveiling of what they've been working on at Celsius. And apparently, according to employees that I'm still in touch with, that is what they continue to work on, apparently. But they've
Wow.
also stopped holding all hands meetings after I leaked the audio. So a lot of the employees don't have as much transparency on whether or not the plans have evolved or changed since then. So I guess all we have right now is what I've leaked on Kelvin. Um, Other than that, I also had I got a leak of another meeting which revealed their plans to create wrapped IOU tokens that represented the value of the crypto in a ratio of the value of the crypto that they had left, as well as their debt, which also to me seemed like quite convoluted and risky and didn't love that plan either. So that was the other audio that I leaked. Other than that, I mean, those were the main big audios and big reveals that I've gotten. Other than that, I'm in constant communication with a few employees as well as former
Wow.
employees. I recently did leak all of Alex Mashinsky's crypto wallets because I think that after knowing all the like fraudulent behavior that's been going on behind the scenes and um, all these withdrawals that we've been finding out
Wow.
about from the insiders, I would like some blockchain sleuths to really look into all of his wallets to expose anything that we can, because I'm hoping for insider clawbacks so that like predators like me can potentially claw back some of the funds that were withdrawn fraudulently, and that can go back towards making some of us whole. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to be whole after they've lost so much, but getting there.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable, right? And I'm seeing the reports as well of the funds being withdrawn by Alex and the other founder as well.
Yes.
And it just makes me so angry, and I know a lot of people as well have the same
It's
sentiment.
appalling. It's appalling when they were telling customers to hodl on and to let everything was fine, everything was FUD that they were hearing about. They were in the background withdrawing funds. It's just like absolutely appalling.
What's interesting is that employees were forthcoming with the information. They contacted you, just
Yes.
showing the what status the company's at right now. I'm sure the employees are losing faith. People are just,
Completely.
yeah.
And that's the sentiment I've been hearing from people who are currently employed, like especially when they found out that Alex had withdrawn a lot of his money right before, like not yeah, not too far before the withdrawal freeze. I heard that like a lot of the employees who initially had more faith in him were like, wow, that is actually like appalling. And yeah, I think that the reason why people are coming forward is because they are frustrated with the situation. And that's what some of them have expressed to me. So, like, a lot of them have lost faith and they're seeing like Alex's true colors and a lot of the other executives' true colors. So, thankfully, some of them are willing to speak up because I feel like this stuff needs to be exposed.
Now, yesterday, I think I saw a tweet from you where Alex subscribed to your newsletter, I think it is.
You know what? Like I saw that at first, but I also can't tell if that was legitimate or not because
Okay.
when I posted that, other people started subscribing as like like other accounts,
Oh,
like to be joke. So I can't say with certainty that that was really Alex or not. Like I can't make that claim with full certainty, but I
yeah.
did see that notification come up, and I was like, "Are you kidding?" I'm sure he's keeping tabs though,
Oh, yeah.
and I even posted. I received some other files that I don't know if I'm going to post. I don't. But I received some things that I posted summaries of, like regarding Alex and Nuke Goldstein's withdrawals, because I received files of their transaction histories that date back to 2018.
Yeah.
Um, and Nuke did reach out to me directly when I
Wow.
posted about that. So he like DM'd me about it. So I know that they are certainly keeping tabs on my on my feed and
Wow.
waiting for me to.
I bet they're like, oh no, what's Tiffany gonna release on us today?
It's just funny me sitting in my bed over here.
Oh
um,
man.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm hell bent on taking them down. I mean, I'm thankful that Alex resigned not too long after the first leaks. I don't want to say that they're related, but I'm thankful that he resigned.
well, I'm sure him and the other founder is gonna go into hiding because they won't be able to show their face.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's this is very true. they can't show their faces after that. So,
So with the whole judicial process around this, are you optimistic that I think you alluded to it before, you may get some of your funds, maybe 50%, maybe 75%? What
I
do you
think that where it stands, uh, the amount of coins that are left, if we were to take some sort of haircut right now, I think we'd be getting a little bit under 50% of our coins back,
Mhm.
um, which is a lot. And I'm sort of like, how did you manage to lose that much of our money? But I guess we just got to deal with the facts. So it looks like yeah, we'd get back a little under 50%. But also, every day of bankruptcy, every day of Chapter 11, they're bleeding funds. I think that they're currently running at a $1.5 million deficit every day. And it was also just released on the Stretto docket that Kirkland and Ellis, which is Celsius's legal counsel, I think they're charging about 3 million for an 18-day period. So just all of the fees, all the legal fees, it's just really like we're really burning through cash every day of this. So I mean, ideally we can try to get out of this as soon as possible, but I don't expect that to be anytime soon.
Have you spoken to other users? I don't know, personally, with who have funds that are locked up as well?
Yeah, actually, a lot. I have been connecting with a lot of other unsecured creditors and people with a lot more on the platform than I have, people with multi millions on the platform. So it's like pretty devastating. But yeah.
Wow. Now this conversation, the next question is going to be about regulations, and it's a tricky thing because you want to make sure that the scammers and the bad actors are stopped, but you don't want an innovation to be stifled, right? And this is a global competition with crypto. So what do you think the regulators could have done better, specifically like the SEC?
I feel like these sorts of bad actors needed to be weeded out, like obviously more quickly. I'm not happy that so many people got burned, myself as well. But I mean, now that we know all the like fraudulent behavior that was happening in the background, I'm like Celsius needed to be taken down. So all these bad actors need to be weeded out. Um, as for like specifics, I'm not really an expert in this area, but yeah.
I feel like some of these centralized, at least crypto firms, they probably need to get FDIC insured, similar to banks. And
Yeah,
they need to issue like monthly reports to regulators, like here's our
yes.
books, right?
Yes, they definitely need more regulations. And I'm not even sure that everything that Celsius was doing was, yeah, by the books. So I'm sure a lot more will be revealed over time. But yeah, I think there definitely need to be some stricter regulations if more innovations to move forward in CeFi.
So has this experience left a bad taste in your mouth, or are you still bullish on crypto and this is more of like a Celsius Alex Mashinsky thing?
Yeah, to me, this is mostly a Celsius, Alex Mashinsky thing. And I also would just be wary of, I guess, the majority of CeFi platforms, especially ones where you're earning interest. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't want to call myself greedy there, but I mean, like, yeah, I liked the interest, which is why I left my money there. And obviously, there's some risk involved if you're receiving like returns. So, yeah, I personally would be wary of using any sort of interest bearing CeFi platform from here on. The rest of my money, just cold storage always. I don't plan on ever moving it onto CeFi platforms, like if I can. So I'm more skeptical of CeFi and yeah, obviously Celsius, I think was much more diabolical than even something like Voyager. So I feel like there's not even a comparison there. I feel like Voyager got burned with 3AC's collapse.
Right.
Whereas Celsius, I think there was a lot of fraud and mismanagement, etc. But
Yeah.
yeah, in terms of crypto, yeah, I plan to be a long-term holder. Although, I mean, I yeah, all the ups and downs of crypto from like I personally don't really buy a ton of crypto anymore. Like here and there I put a little more money in, but since I got in very early, it does make up a really massive portion of my portfolio. So when I invest now, I actually personally do invest in more like risk averse and stable assets or for example, just ETFs. A lot of my more recent investments have just been in ETFs, index funds, S&P 500. I'm kind of a boring investor just because crypto's always been a huge part of my portfolio, and the volatility can also often be a little difficult to deal with. But
For
yeah,
sure. Well, I think it's important to be diversified. And I personally,
yeah,
similar to you, I have my crypto portfolio. It's heavy crypto, but
yeah,
heavily crypto, but I do have stocks. I do have ETFs.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think it's important to diversify because there's nothing guaranteed. Uh,
exactly. I think so too. Like, as much as I am bullish on crypto, I wouldn't ever recommend anyone putting all of their money into crypto, or even like the majority of their money into crypto. So yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
yeah, I think crypto moves so fast. The volatility, when it swings up, it is amazing. There's nothing
Yeah.
like it. But when
Hmm.
it swings back down, the pendulum goes the other way. It's rough.
Yes. It's been like, it was hard to stomach. I feel like the first time Bitcoin hit 20K was in like 2017. And I remember being so ecstatic. And then watching it plummet that first time was the hardest. I feel like after I've been through enough of those ups and downs, it's been easier for me to stomach. But I'm just like, okay, this can't be my entire portfolio. Like, I need some more stability in my portfolio than that. So yeah, I'm mostly buying ETFs, to be honest, even though that sounds really boring. But
Well, Tiffany, I appreciate you coming on and sharing the information. Keep up the good work.
thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I'm a noob on in news like this, but thank you for having me.
you did great, and I'll put links to your podcast, your YouTube channel, and Twitter in the description. Folks, go follow Tiffany, and you know, keep up the good work. Keep exposing Alex,
I
aka
will.
Bernie Madoff of
Oh,
crypto.
I will. I'm hellbent. Thank you for having me. It was nice to speak with you.